Well, welcome to the Grim and Bloody podcast. I'm happy to have you here on this sweltering August. But fear not. Well, I would probably put some fear in you. We have David Howard Thornton, the star of Terrifier, and it was terrifying. And because everyone asked for it, Terrifier 2 is coming out soon. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, that was a remarkable performance. But before we jump in, let me go ahead and introduce my wonderful co-host, Joe Flynn. How you doing, Joe?
There I am. I had to unmute myself because sometimes when I see clowns, I get terrified and I forget to unmute.
Let's talk about clowns. I'm alone in the dark here.
Don't worry, Anthony.
We
need Art to go over there. He'll keep you company.
I'm sure he would. Kevin Nicholson, writer for We Belong Dead magazine. How you doing, Kevin?
Yeah, I don't know these guys, David.
We all just met, actually.
They came along with the Zoom. They came along with a Zoom package.
It's kind of like the old photographs, like the picture frames and stuff like that, where it's just got the families and stuff like that. They just came with it.
No, thank you for. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for joining us today, and we are going to talk about clowns.
Yeah, but let me also introduce Al Omega, host of Creature Features. How you doing, Al?
I'm holding up. Surviving.
And we recorded something special just last week, and we'll be releasing that really soon. It was amazing. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But welcome you guys. Thanks for coming on. And David, thank you for taking the time and coming on our show. We have lots of questions. I'm sure you probably get asked these a lot. So we'll try our best to keep it unique. But I can go. I guess I could start. I watched Terrifier for the first time maybe about a week ago when I found out you were coming on the show. Mm-hmm. I gave it a nice sit through, and this is an unsettling movie.
That's a good way to put it.
I kept having. I was just switching positions. I couldn't find the right position. I didn't know why, because your character, it's so maniacal, so uneven that that's the true definition of a psychopath. Is they don't have a pattern. They don't have a rhyme or reason. And it looked like if I was going to write a villain, just this manic, just killer, just having fun. This is probably what I would envision on a good day.
Yeah, part 2 is him on a bad day. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He's definitely just insane. It's like I think the homeless cat lady in the movie sums him up very well. That he does this because he finds it funny. He's not doing this out of like revenge or something like that. He's doing this because it's pure entertainment and fun.
Good-natured slaughtering. That's what it was.
Yeah, he puts the laughter in slaughter.
Well, let's start. David, let me ask you what. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, what is it about that? Clowns being the height of terror for some, for some people. Are we tapping into some kind of phobia, some kind of fear of clowns? And
I think so. I mean, because I know there are a lot of people out there that do have that fear of clowns or coulrophobia. I can never pronounce it.
Yeah.
Coulrophobia. The fear of clowns.
And how much have you been drinking? Come on,
yeah, none. I just
I'm certainly water. Drinking.
Not enough, obviously.
Yeah. Coulrophobia. There we go. I got
it. There
you
go.
Coulrophobia. Right. But yeah, it's. I think it because it comes to that uncanny valley type of thing where it's like it's something that it's very human-like, but not quite human. It's everything's so much more exaggerated, so it's very, skeevy. I guess you could say. So yeah, it's especially when they're covered in blood.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blood. Well, and they got fangs too. Especially when you've got fangs on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, just nasty, just teeth that they're just like, oh my god, halitosis gone bad. I've wanted to bring those to my dentist office and just wear them when I just show up. I'm like, hi. And she's like, oh god, no.
There's an old story about one of the old comedians from back in the Borscht Belt days. Had to go in for x-rays, and they took so long to get to the x-rays, they brought him lunch, a little lunch tray with tin foil over it. And so he got bored and punched out to lunch and put it underneath his gown, so no one saw it until after they developed the x-rays.
That's
the sort of stuff I love doing whenever I get away with it.
Oh,
I would have loved to see you go to the dentist with those.
Oh God, it's yeah. She knows who I am, so I can't really pull it off now. But but I have one of the COVID masks that is my mouth and stuff like that. So I wore that one day. She was like, "Oh God, those teeth are horrible." I'm like, "Yeah, those are my teeth."
So
go ahead.
Let's go back if we could. Before the Terrifier, what got you into acting? What set you down this path of just
church theater of all things?
Church theater.
Yeah.
I bet that's a more common answer than most people think.
Yeah, it's so true, because my mom would direct a lot of the shows at my church. My dad would be in a lot of the shows, and I sang in the church choir, the kids choir. So I started off doing those shows at 3 years old. And I think it was we were doing a production of Noah's Ark, and I was one of the lions, and I ended up accidentally knocking the other two lions off the stage, and I just kept going, and everybody's laughing, so I just started hamming it up and everything.
Why were there more than 2 lions for Noah's Ark?
I don't know. Oh, in the Bible it says.
I want to know about this.
I know, but that's weird. I didn't even think of that until just now. There were 3 of us lions, so I don't know.
Why? Because they say, fight like you're the third monkey and go into the ark.
Oh, in the Bible it says 2 of every unclean, 7 of every clean. But I think of the lions weren't even really the clean ones, because you didn't eat the lions. So I don't know why they made 3 lions. Maybe that we just had one kid too many. They're like, oh, you're going to be a lion too.
I was going to ask if you played Christ in the manger there for the Christmas shows.
Yeah. Also, we had there were 3 boy lions too. So how's that going to work? So I'm just
the church can be fun in all the wrong ways.
Oh yeah.
I bet there are a lot of horror writers out there that link their backgrounds to going to church.
Oh, probably so. It's
that or their parents were therapists or something.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yes, I think there's a revelation here for your fans out there. We could say that church acting led to Art the Clown.
Yeah,
right. Led to horror.
So the body of Christ, the blood of Christ.
That's it.
The guts of Christ.
That's that's it. Well, if Spike Lee can do the blood of Jesus, then you can do Art the Clown mixed in with biblical horror.
But no, I grew up Methodist, so we didn't use wine, so we used grape juice. So
we're Manischewitz over here, so
there you go. Understand. Yeah.
So Damien Leone approaches you, or did he approach you, or did you audition from a list of other actors for the role?
I just auditioned. Yeah,
you auditioned?
They put a casting call up on Actors Access, and they were looking for a tall, skinny guy that had physical comedy or clowning experience to play Art. And I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. So yeah, I'll go in.
Nice. And it was a match made in heaven based on the performance. I couldn't imagine anyone else pulling out. There was some crazy shit happening in that movie. I don't know. You were in it. You were the clown. You were there.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there.
Was all about.
Remember that time that you did this? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I was there. But some of the stuff that was in there was just off the wall. And was that always the plan, or was there some improvisation that happened, or was this Damien's master plan from the get-go?
A little bit of both. There was a lot of that was Damien's master plan, but he did give me some room to improv and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of my mannerisms I just did myself, and he's like, "Oh gosh, that's funny. Let's keep that." So yeah, and other things would just happen in the moment. We're like, "Oh, that was great. Let's keep that." Like me flicking off Victoria after she stabbed me in the foot. I was joking around with Samantha when we had to do another take, and they just caught me going, "Ah!"
Nice.
I thought that was funny. It's like, that works. That totally works in the moment. So it's like, yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I'm like, this had to just happen like on the day of shooting. Like,
yeah,
we're just gonna do it this way. I'm like, I can't believe David just did that. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's like a great example of that is with Catherine Corcoran that played Dawn. The whole part where she's
and the directors will come on and say, "Yeah, I wrote it, but I never expected it to become like that."
All right. Now, I did have a question about your role and how did it affect the co-stars when you started slaughtering them?
I don't know how it really affected them because it was such a team effort, and this was my first time doing film work too, so I was learning a lot from them, and so it was like it was probably a little bit discombobulating when 1 second I'm on top of them stabbing like crazy, and then I'm like, they say cut, I'm like, oh my god, are you okay? I didn't hurt you or anything, did I? Are you okay? You fine? Like, dude, it's okay. I'm like, I just want to make sure you're not hurt. Like, especially like Jenna does a lot of Jenna Cannell, who plays Tara, she does a lot of stunt work, and so she's used to all this kind of stuff. So I'm like the whole thing where I'm having to like press my thumbs into her eyes, I was very hesitant about doing that because I don't like stuff happening to my eyes. I did not want to hurt her, and she's like, no, go ahead. You can press on like the tops of my eyes up here. That won't hurt or anything like that. It's just
wow.
And if it hurts a little bit, that's okay. It gives me something to work with. I'm like, are you sure? Because also she's someone I know could kick my ass too, so I don't want her to also just. I'm like, oh my god.
That would look
there
good.
There goes Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Getting slapped the fuck up.
Yeah, it looked great though. But this had to be something different for you. I mean, you're the two previous things you have on your IMDb were voices for anime, anime and then a video game.
Yeah.
And then you come in and you do Art the Clown.
Yeah, it's
and
quite
then,
a transition.
Yeah, it must have opened a few doors for you.
I think so, because I definitely because I was not only just doing voiceover work for like kid shows, I was also touring with How the Grinch Stole Christmas the musical for 5 years. And so I was doing a lot of stuff geared more towards kids. I had always done comedy, so horror was a whole new
feels like
avenue.
It's a very natural extension. Dealing with children, horror.
Yeah. You kind of do. I mean, I used to be a school teacher too, so you do kind of like fantasize that stuff in your head, when you're having to deal with the parent-teacher conferences and stuff like that.
I have a good friend that's a teacher. We talk.
I'm sure those are interesting now. Right?
Oh God, I'm so glad I don't teach anymore. All the Karens out there, I'll just like I just because I saw the change happen because I come from former generation to teachers. So like when I was growing up, that it was the teacher that was in charge of everything, and the parents listened, and the parents usually worked with the teachers and stuff like that. Now it's the kids that are basically in charge of everything, and the parents are always lambasting the teachers. It's your fault. This, it's like I would probably snap now and be like, no, it's your little shit over here that threatened this other kid over here with a knife, and now it's like,
what grade did you teach, David?
Perfect. I taught 4th and 5th grade in my internship.
Wow.
Yeah, I literally did have a kid threaten another kid in my classroom one day with a plastic knife. And I took him in the hallway and I scared the bejesus out of him. I was like, you want to go to jail? Because that's what's going to take you to jail and stuff like that. So you're going to... And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to go to jail. I'm like, yeah.
There's kids like you in Rikers Island right now. You want to be one of them?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the old, like scare them straight programs where they bring the guys.
I was going to say that. And you probably did wonderful things for that kid. And if you did it now, the mom would be all over you. How dare you talk to my child that way?
Oh, even the kid before I just started, he's like, because I mean, still at that point, it's like early 2000s. They're like, they especially said you can't touch a child.
Right.
He's like, if a kid refuses to go to the office, you can't physically take them to the office. Like when I was a kid, I was dragged kicking and screaming to the office. I was paddled. I farted in my principal's face when she paddled me too. So it's only happened one time I got paddled.
Let's be honest though.
Seeing the early trauma.
Let's be honest though. You took that kid out. You took him aside, and you said, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
That's what caused him to pee on himself, and
that's the thing. It's just like it's different now.
Art the Clown was there. See,
yeah,
he was always there.
He was in there. He was in there.
So, what can you tell us about Terrifier 2?
Oh gosh, it's a family picture.
Nice.
Can't
wait.
Streaming on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah,
on Disney Plus.
Totally gonna be on Disney Plus.
Right next to Moana and Mulan.
Yeah.
Or this will be on the Disney Plus Black label.
I'm waiting for the musical.
Yeah,
That's right.
Is there going to be a point in Terrifier 2 where we sing Akumba Matata, something like that?
We don't
you
talk
wanna make
about
a dead
Bruno.
body?
Oh, no.
Well, Damien said this is going to be, a 2.5-hour movie?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours, 20 minutes long, so it's a big movie. Especially that's
most horror
for
movies are about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Usually they give you just enough plot that you can follow easily, just enough character development, and the rest is all practical effects, jump scares, right? Tension building.
Yeah.
But when you move into 2.5-hour territory, you really have to you have to develop a narrative, because that's a lot of time for a horror.
That's some M. Night Shyamalan territory.
Yeah, that's some serious.
Yeah, we're not really trying to go like Jordan Peele, M. Night Shyamalan type of route, though. It's like it's still a basically hero's journey type of story, but fun.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole battle between good and evil. It's very generic, but we have our own twist on it all and stuff like that. It's just we just found so many fun set pieces to do, and it's just like, well, why not have fun with this? It's like plus our kill scenes are long, and then like the last third of the movie is just one huge long fight scene, basically, kind of like in like the first two Child's Play movies, where it's like you get to the last third of the movie and it's like, oh my god, this does not it just keeps going and going and going and going. It's like, my god.
Yeah, who's gonna win this fight?
Yeah,
Art or the Clown?
Exactly.
Find out.
Well, I got to ask you, one of my favorite roles that I connected you to, and I was a follower, is Nightwing.
Yes.
And you get to play one of the most iconic characters in
Joker.
The Clown Prince of Crime.
Did that prepare you? I mean, did that
give Mark Hamill a run for his money?
Oh,
no one can beat Mark Hamill. There's no one.
I know he is the Joker.
Excuse me, I'm a Cesar Romero guy here.
That's one of my other inspirations too. It's like I've always said, yes, Cesar Romero is the closest anyone has gotten to a comic accurate live action Joker on screen, especially for the time that he was doing it.
Right. Now, did that prep you in some way to doing Art the Clown? Because there's these are two larger than life, maniacal villains.
Yeah.
That they delight in their malevolence.
Yeah.
And being and being the arch villain. Is that something that you kind of drew on when you did Art?
Oh, definitely. And oddly enough, I was cast as Joker in Art in the same week.
Oh, nice.
So that was really like, wow,
Congrats,
this is a
I'm seeing a pattern
week.
here, guys.
That's good.
Yeah, is there a type? Is there a type that's connected to your name?
I don't know. I will go with it, though. I love killer clowns. They're fun to play. But yeah, I definitely pulled a lot from Joker. I mean, he was definitely a big inspiration. The theatricality behind everything. That's what I like about Joker, is the theatricality. He's all about putting on a show, all about monologuing, it's all about him, and he just revels in it. It's just his ego.
There is it's interesting. There is a very theatrical stage kind of presence to the Joker. And you do that very well with your hands, and so you saw it with Jack Nicholson when he was doing it in the Batman film. Everything has a, purpose. What kind of a world do we live? It's very physical.
Yeah, very, very physical. That's even how he is in the comic books too. He's very animated, very physical, and that's why I wanted to bring more to it. Is like, 'cause it seems like Hollywood in the last 20 years, they all try to make him creepy. And Joker really doesn't try to be creepy, except for maybe when he cut off his face and reattached it. It's like he's more just about the theatricality behind it all.
He wants to make a show of it.
Yeah.
He revels in his insanity. Really kind of relishes it. And, that's what's cool about it.
I wanted to change gears a little bit and talk about a little bit more about Terrifier and more about the reception that you received. Now, you do a lot of conventions, David. Your name appears on so many guest lists.
I just missed you. That's Sinister Creatures Con. I just missed you
until I saw David Howard Thornton appearing as Terrifier. I mean, you have made the rounds seriously, and kudos to you. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and the effort. I mean, it just raises awareness. For me, I'm like, okay, Terrifier might be something because he's everywhere, right? People are asking for him. He's in demand. Tell us a little bit about the fan reaction. So when you're at the conventions, and you are the main face, you are the new clown, you're the new scary clown. I think in all respects, you've kind of taken the mantle away from it. I mean, Tim Curry held it for a long time. The last movies were good, but they were more kind of on the CGI. But this is a scary count, pure practical effects, just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Tell us how the fans approach you with this.
It's been surreal. It's just like, that's what I love about the conventions is that interaction with the fans and that capacity, because it is the fans that made Terrifier what it is. Because we weren't a big Hollywood release. We were, just low budget independent film that just released on like streaming platforms and like DVD, and we weren't even on Netflix at first. And it was because of the fans' initial reaction to the film and them getting the word out, and the other like the horror websites like Bloody Disgusting, all that kind of stuff, them getting the word out. That's why Netflix picked this up, and that even made us explode more. So it's just like, that's why I'm so happy to be able to do these conventions, because it's a big thank you to the fans in a lot of ways. And it's like the fans even made part 2 possible by basically funding most of the film with the Indiegogo campaign.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's really cool going to the conventions and stuff like that, seeing all the cosplay, especially because I love cosplay, and I've seen so many creative cosplays of Art the Clown. I mean, you get people that do like the realistic versions of them, where I'm just like, damn, that's really good. They get the whole characterization down, everything. It always throws me off when they actually come up to me and talk to me. I'm like, oh God, I'm not used to hearing a voice coming out of him. So it's really weird to hear. You see someone doing the actions, all of a sudden they're like, hey, so gonna get a picture with you? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Or they come and go, I've always liked the movies you're in. I love the video games.
See, how amusing do you find it though when they approach you wearing the Art the Clown get up in a men's restroom?
That's weird.
That's gotta be like no flight.
I even had a thing like when I walk out of the restroom, I always want to just apologize to people, or just be like, don't worry, I didn't do anything in here. Don't worry, the walls are clean.
I would then go in after you and paint them in blood just because.
One time I went to one of these and there was like someone just messed up one of the toilets, and I was like, I swear it was not me. I did not do that.
Yeah, no, because I know at conventions they have you dressed up as Art. And it's like for people going, like, as you're saying, if you're coming out of the restroom, people will be going like, what? I'm not going in there. Never mind.
Now, see, I always like to clear out the restroom. When I go in, I like to take a squeeze bottle of Mountain Dew or or yellow Gatorade and squirt it underneath the stalls and go, whoa there, big boy. Just a minute. Let me get in there. And people get out of the way. It's amazing.
Oh, the things that we do to humiliate people at conventions.
That's when the guests start looking at their watch like, oh, geez, look at the time.
Look at the time. It's a half past a freckle.
Oh, guys.
It's been a whole 5 minutes. We should get going now.
So now that you talked about, you have a film that you basically got started by Indiegogo, and flash forward, a year or two later?
Yeah.
You're now Terrifier 2, and you're at every convention known. Has this kind of still hitting you?
It is. It's sometimes I still have that imposter syndrome set in where I'm sitting here and I'm on a panel with other legends from film and stuff like that. I'm like, how am I up here with these guys? How am I up here with Mike Myers and Jason Voorhees? And I'm like, this is, or like when I see artwork, like someone's got a painting of all these horror legends and I'm in that painting. I'm like, this is really crazy. And a fun moment like this happened when I was at Horror Hound in Cincinnati earlier this year, because my table was right next to Dick Warlock's table. And so someone brought up a piece of artwork where it's Art stabbing Mike Myers in the neck with a syringe, like I did to Tara. And I signed it, and I'm sitting there signing and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear, David, what the hell is this? It's Dick Warlock. It's like, hey, time for new blood, old man. Go back to staring out your window. It's just like, this is so surreal. Because but when I first got there to the convention, I was sitting at the table, Dick comes straight over to me. He's like, Dave, I love the film. This is amazing. I've been wanting to meet you and stuff like that. I just want to say how much I love the film and everything. I'm like, oh my God, you're a freaking legend. So it's like, when you get that kind of recognition from those guys, because that means a lot. Because like when we first started doing these conventions, that was one of my biggest fears. It's like, oh my God, how are these guys going to treat us? I had that feeling that they're just going to look down their nose at us and like, who the hell do these guys think they are? They were just like a low budget independent film. Who the heck do these guys think they are? It was the total opposite. It was like all those legends have just welcomed us with open arms. It's like Bill Moseley, especially, like the first time we did convention together is Days of the Dead in Chicago. He came over to my table, introduced himself, and he's like, hey, I know you're new to conventions, so why don't I just take you around and introduce you to everybody? So he took me around to introduce me to like Kane Hodder and John Kassir and all those guys.
Nice.
That was pretty special, because I get really nervous about meeting other people. I can actually be pretty shy around people I don't know, so that was such a nice icebreaker. And I was like, oh, I think the world of him for doing that. And now these guys are just, it's Kane, it's Bill, it's CJ, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you,
all great guys.
I've met Dick Warlock a few times, and he is like the nicest, just nicest guy.
He's hilarious.
I'll bet you he whispered into your ear, Michael Myers could still kick Art the Clown's ass.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that.
I wanted to mention, when's the last time we've had like a legit original horror villain, you know, to root for? I mean, most horror movies, the villain is ambiguous, right? It's the atmosphere, it's some ghost, it's some undead relative, you know, it's some kind of entity that lasts for that movie. And it's usually the focus is on the protagonist, right? It's will they survive? Will they live to see another day? You know, the horror aspect is there just to give them a rough ride, you know?
Right.
We don't get a lot of films where the focus is on purely the villain. Like in this movie, Terrifier, it's like 75% Art the Clown, and then 25% everybody else. And the everybody else, there are no lead actors. Now we did a review on Death Parade Film Fest, talking about Terrifier, and the focus is on you, rightfully so, because the character is amazing. It's demented, it's unpredictable. you're watching it, you don't know what's going to happen next.
Right.
I'm watching them. I don't know what this clown is going to do next. But the other characters, it was almost a satire for them. We knew what was going to happen to them. Right?
You got to die, except for Tara. No one expected Tara to die.
Yeah, they were a little one-dimensional. But they were cannon fodder for our clown.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, they were there so you can kill them gleefully in unique ways that we haven't seen in a while. Like there's one where the girl is suspended upside down and just, and I'm like, oh, I've seen horror movies. I've seen some horror movies. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Am I old enough to watch
gynecology exam ever?
That must have been quite the setup. Like, Damon's like, okay, David, this is the scene where you're gonna get the knife. You're gonna get this
back and forth
hacksaw,
about it,
right? You're gonna start right here, and you just get like.
I read it and it was very descriptive, and I was like, okay, this is just for our benefit. I figured it was going to be like most films where they just cut away and then you see the aftermath, maybe.
Oh no!
We're going to show
camera's like right there.
I'm like, that's amazing, and I loved it. I think that's great because that's what the real slasher fans want to see. They love those kills, those creative kills. It's like, the last films that really did that were like the Victor Crowley movies.
Hatchet.
Like, good reference.
They have
there.
some
good
great.
Reference.
I mean, I still love just the one where he just tears the head and just it's just like that's such a great kill. That's such a great kill. And I'm like, see, this is why people go to these movies. It's
you
like
can fast forward through the chicks talking in the movie. Just go to the Victor Crowley kills.
Oh yeah, you're not there for the story. You're not there for realistic kills. You're there for the over the top. Just oh my god, I can't believe they did that type of stuff. And that's what we do with these films as well. And we're doing it even more so in part 2. I mean, that we have some kills that go on for a few minutes. So it's just like. Yeah,
I think there's also an attention to detail in the Terrifier as far as the kills that is also gratifying to horror fans. And I'm sure Kevin, Al, Joe, you can agree. Usually when there's a kill scene, I mean, the victim just kind of just flops and you're dead. I mean,
I'm dead.
The victims here, there's an added detail. I don't know if it's Damien, whoever, but there's resistance. There's fight in these victims. I forgot the name. The pizza guy. He's struggling. He's still alive when he's getting his face stabbed in.
Oh my god.
The guy who gets his throat slit quite slowly.
Yeah.
If anybody have noticed, if you guys seen the film, he's getting his throat slit. After he
sawing away with a machete. Just
what he does is his hand grabs it and tries to stop it. Like he's probably in shock, right? He's fading out, but he still has the wherewithal to try to grab it and stop it. I'm watching him like, Jesus Christ!
That's my favorite kill actually in the movie.
Honestly, I rewound it a few times. I want to
such a great decapitation. It's just
it was a good decapitation. And I like the fight from the victim. This sounds morbid. I know it does, right? But this is a horror show, right?
Yeah, it's Anthony.
But just the part when he's just grabbing it. And trying in vain to stop, I thought was an excellent attention to detail.
Oh, you're gonna could have just had him
cut it and that was it. But that added detail of it that made it for me.
Well,
the kill was great, but the victims trying to resist was I thought even better.
Well, you're definitely going to be very, 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 very satisfied with the kills in part 2 then, because there's a lot of fighting back, all that going on. Just oh my god, like one of the kills is I actually, because they were just filming the perspective, like from my perspective, so you're seeing the victim the whole entire time, you're not really seeing me, but they're just their reactions to everything. I actually got a little bit nauseous by their performance, just the sounds this person was making. I was like, oh god, I was like, that's such a great performance. Oh my god, that's gross. Oh Jesus. Okay. A good thing I'm not on film right now, because I would be like going, "Oh,
excuse me, cut. I gotta go puke."
Yeah. I was like, God.
I'll be back in 5.
It's funny as Anthony was talking about, how the victims fight back, during that, and I think you got to go you go back to, I mean, kind of what started that, and I think what Damien is trying to continue, and yourself are trying to continue with the Terrifier films. You got to go back to Carpenter and Halloween, and Michael Myers.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre too.
Well, that one too.
Yeah.
You have the character like Michael, going after the Laurie character. And then it's almost as if the director is saying, no, Jamie, you're not the Weeping Willow.
Yeah.
Fight this motherfucker back,
Yeah.
This is for so the whole thing was, this is for my survival. So when we see the pizza guy, fighting against you, that's like, I'm just like trying to live the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Basically. And I got tired of seeing, you get tired of seeing these horror films where the heroine especially, or even the hero, are just these lame, almost ignorant just slow-witted characters who make these dumb, the dumb moves. I'm glad that I don't see that with Terrifier.
Oh, you definitely won't with part 2 with our new heroine in this. Oh my God, like Lauren Lavera, the character she plays is Sienna. This part 2 is not just Art's story, it's her story as well. So they have like equal screen time in this.
Oh, that's good.
You have basically two stories happening and converging, and when they finally converge, it is just battle royale between these two, and it's her story about how she becomes this badass foil to Art, the Batman to his Joker, and it's like when they finally go at it,
that's a good sequel.
It's
good escalation.
I mean, you see a little bit of, we show a little hint of that in the trailer with the little bit of the fight and stuff like that, and it's but that's it. I mean, she's like such an Ellen Ripley type of character. And it's a character that Damien has wanted to bring to life and has had in his head before he even came up with the art. So this is a character that he just loves this character so much, and we cast the perfect person to play her. I mean, like, Lauren is kick ass in this role, and it's just like, and the funny thing is, we didn't even, when we wrote the character, it's like, oh man, we kind of wish we kind of knew all this kind of stuff beforehand, but like, she's kickbox instructor and stuff like that in real life.
She gonna whoop Art to class.
She does all this martial arts stuff. Like, I mean, she doesn't do it in the film, but like, oh my God, there's so much potential if she survives this to like bring her back and just really have her just some good.
That could go a couple ways.
Good fights.
I can see it like you say Ellen Ripley in Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see kind of like Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so deep into this that it's just become my own path.
Yeah.
Too deep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. It's just like, it's fun. It's fun because I like that too. I like it's when you have that cat and mouse game, but also that that tug of war, that actual battle happening between the victim and the villain. It's so much more entertaining. Instead of just another quick kill, moving on to the next one, quick kill, going on to the next one. When you actually have that resistance, because it makes them scarier in that way too, I think. Because it's like, oh wow, it's more realistic.
Very true. I do have a question about, what do you prefer, makeup or the effects?
I definitely like the effects that we have in this are great. It's,
you mean like CGI, Joe, or are you saying like CGI the practical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely the practical effects.
Yes.
No kidding there. That's like my whole thing is, if you can do it with practical effects, do it with practical effects. This, because the CG just doesn't look. You can tell CG, and as an actor, I like actually having something to react off of too. So when you actually have something physical there to interact with, it makes them. Like, a great example of this is when you're talking about the death of the guy in the pizzeria scene, with me just stabbing his head. This prosthetic that Damien built, I did not realize how complex it was, because so much of it doesn't get seen. But he had layers underneath the skin of like muscles and bone and all this kind of stuff. And so
some Rob Bottin stuff right there.
Oh yeah, it's like when I'm stabbing into this thing, I'm had resistance. It wasn't just caving in or being squishy or anything like that. It was like, oh wow. And then I see the stuff in there. So like that little bit where you see me just go, that was actually me just playing with it, because I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Look at this. Because I was like, this is amazing. I did not realize how much he built into this thing. It's so much that does not.
Did he do the effects, David?
Yeah,
Damien?
he did them all himself.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
It's funny to think like he put so much time and effort into something that gets seen.
So he wrote,
seconds.
directed, and did the effects.
Yeah.
Wow.
And edits. He does all this stuff.
Wow.
He's a true powerhouse.
That's a workload right there.
Yeah.
Kevin, you and I were talking about this the other day about how having a film fest coming up, sometimes people will make a short and they'll shop it around the film fests and win some awards, and then they'll go try to pitch it as a movie. And the Terrifier was done the same way. Mm-hmm. So my question to you, Mr. Thornton, is were you involved with the short and all at all?
No, not at all. That was before my time. That was Mike Gianelli, who was the original art, and that was just one of Damien's, childhood friends. And he's like, "Hey, I need someone to play this clown that I came up with. Can you play him?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Somebody needs to run the short as a preview on the Terrifier 2. Like the cartoon instead.
No, you were talking about the practical effects, and I wanted to bring in what we were talking about before we recorded. You actually had some uncomfortability. You said you were wearing those gigantic fangs, the teeth that he had, even though you had no dialogue, or you have no dialogue as Art the Clown. None. You said that was uncomfortable to to wear.
Yeah.
And you're wearing that for 12 hours, or whatever filming is, 12 hours a day. Did that kind of play into your? I know with some actors, especially actors in the past, who wore practical makeup, that played into their role a little bit.
It definitely did. Especially with the smiling, because they kind of already jutted out a little bit because they're on top of my actual teeth, so it's just adds more into my mouth. And so I was like, it made me have to smile bigger, because I had to be able to get my lips around everything, so it actually showed the teeth and everything. So that really played into it more. So it's like it just made my that big huge smile happen more so, I guess you could say.
So did I give you more of a pained look expression on your face then?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like the thing was, the real pain about him was the combination of that and the prosthetics I was wearing, because it was a gelatin mask that I wore, and it's very easy to tear, especially when it gets liquids on it, and the teeth would make me drool a lot, so that would make the mouth just fall apart very easily, or my nose would run and would make it all fall apart. So I was always self-conscious about going too big or something like that with my expressions, because it would just rip and would have to send me to triage and fix it and stuff like that. And that was a big problem we have in first two films until near the end of part 2. We switched to a foam latex mask that you can get liquid on it. It's fine. It holds up so much easier, and it also comes off easier, and it's lighter, and it breathes.
Feels right off.
It's wonderful. I love this foam latex. And so and before that, we would have to do all my close-ups first, so I had the better makeup there around my mouth, and then then I could destroy my mouth later on. We could just throw some more black paint or blood all over it to cover it up and hope no one notices it falling apart. But now with the foam latex, that's really not an issue anymore.
That sounds like, though, like you're the kid in the kid in grade school acting, learning makeup wearing makeup for the first time. You're just like, I'm loving this.
Yeah. It's fun. I've always enjoyed makeup, because I did a lot of children's theater growing up, and I would usually play the characters that had crazy makeup. I played a lot of animals and stuff like that, so I'm used to it, and I like to see how it alters my face. So usually anytime I get cast with a character that has an interesting makeup job, I'll sit in front of a mirror for a while and just make faces and just see how crazy things look, where I can go with my facial expressions and stuff like. Especially with art, I really want to do that because he's such a silent character, so I have to emote and show my intent and meaning with my physicality, and I liked it because I didn't have a stagnant mask like Jason or Mike Myers. I was like, oh wow, I can show so much emotion and everything with my face, and this mask allows me to really exaggerate because it's like skin, so it shows all my little motions and everything. So I love that. So I was like, let's see how far I can go with this, because he's a clown, because clowns over exaggerate everything anyway. So let's see how this reads. And like when I went there for my makeup test, I was in the bathroom for a good like 20-30 minutes, and they're like, are you okay in there? I was like, yeah, I'm just making faces.
That leads me to my next question, and I've read some debate from Art the Clown based on your facial expressions, everything, your outward emotions. Fans seem to think that using a gun is not your preferred method of killing. Mm-hmm. And when you killed Tara, if I have the character right, when you shot her in the head, there's a very specific moment where it shows you, and this is probably your most disturbed look. It's I would say it's the look where you look the most human. Mm-hmm. There's this pure look of frustration. Yeah, like this is not how you envisioned the kill. Something didn't go according to your wishes, and you were angry about it. And I thought that was the most human emotion of the movie. It was the most unsettling because this whole movie, he looked like just this crazy, whacked out, right? Bonkers, 1 minute he's slicing people, the next minute he's crying in the bosom of a woman, right? This was the moment where I'm like, oh shit, is this really a guy here, right? Yeah. So what's your opinion? I know the director, he keeps it murky as to, what's going on. But what's your opinion? Does Art the Clown, does he use the gun as a defensive mechanism?
That was his plan B. But I think there were different emotions going on in his head at that point too. It wasn't just because he was disappointed that he had to use a gun to kill her and stuff like that. Because the thing is, he used a gun to kill her, but he still used the gun as a slasher would. He didn't just shoot her once in the head, now she's dead. He mutilated her face with it. Yeah, he just bam, 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 bam. He could just let her bleed out, but I'm going to just destroy her face. So I also look, it's like, I saw him, he saw Tara as a worthy opponent. And he wanted to break her mentally. He was like, I kind of look at the story of Terrifier 1, because sometimes we get this critique, there's not much plot to it. It's like, there is a plot, and people miss it. It's basically the main plot, the crux of The Killing Joke, of how Joker's plan was to reduce Commissioner Gordon to insanity by, shooting his daughter and torturing her and showing him all those pictures of him torturing his daughter and stuff like that. That's kind of what Art was trying to do to Tara. He was trying to I am going to break you mentally. I am going to take your best friend, tie you up to a chair, and make you watch me destroy her physically and mentally. Because it's like there was nothing sexual about what he was doing in that scene. That was all just to debase her and really just mess with Tara's head too. And so he's like, he hangs her upside down, cuts her in half while she's still alive, slowly.
And it wasn't a quick to the kill. End. That's the detail.
Yeah. So he was really trying to break Tara.
Kevin looks sick. He's like, Jesus, you have to.
But she didn't break. She did not break. And he's like, you're not fun anymore. Yeah. You're not fun anymore. I can't break you. Shit. Bang. We're done. I don't want to play with you anymore. And then Victoria comes
back and forth about that scene. Yes.
Yeah. But then Victoria comes along, and he is able to break her mentally. And that's what the real story of Terrifier 1 is. It's like it's the whole story of what made this perfectly sane young woman go insane and kill somebody. And it was Art the Clown. Yeah. It's like he did these horrible things to her. Horrible things. I was like, God, I mean, like he disguises himself to make it look like it's her sister, but it's actually the other woman. Wears her body parts, chases her around, wearing that stuff. There's all this other stuff. It's just like, oh my God, it's horrible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't think he's adverse to using guns, because he also uses a gun in All Hallows Eve. Mm-hmm. It's just like he uses whatever he has available to him, but he will use it as a slasher would use any weapon.
Nice.
It's like
nice.
It's not just, if he's going to use a gun, he's going to use it as a slasher would use a gun.
Now, who wanted to bring up the question of the ending? You, Kevin? Al?
Not me.
This movie ends on a controversial ending. And I wanted to bring it towards the end of the show. But I want to get your opinion. It's one of the other things that is left open to interpretation. The whole movie, we feel like Art the Clown is a human that's just, whacked out, right? He's gonzo. He's gone, right? But he, he's eating his latest victim when the cops show up.
Yes.
Right? He decides to end himself. He put a gun right here, boom, he's done for, right?
Yeah.
But at the very end, he pops up out of the body bag to kill again. Like nothing's happened. That to me would seem like Art the Clown is not a human. That maybe he's something else. Something demonic, something otherworldly. I can't recall any Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger movies where they popped themselves at the end and popped out. Maybe that's just the director having a little bit of fun. But in your opinion, what is Art the Clown really? Is he metaphorical? Is he whatever we want him to be? Or did he just have a trick up his sleeve to get out of the police situation, which I thought would be genius? Maybe he shot himself in such a way that it wouldn't kill him. Although it did look pretty much like he put the gun right here.
Oh, no, he put the gun in his mouth.
Yeah,
you see the exit wound in the back of his head, too.
That looked pretty legit.
It went straight through his brain.
So surviving that would tell me that he's not human, right? But
well, I don't know.
What was the director's plan? Did he tell you, hey, this is what I'm actually thinking about right here?
Oh, yeah, that's something, that's actually a scene we added later on. We did a rough cut of the film, showed it in 2016 at a Telluride Horror Festival, and we didn't have that scene in there, and it just ended with the reveal with Victoria at the end, with her turning around the wheelchair, and it's like, oh, it's her.
Oh, really?
But yeah, and we're just like, well, people are going to want a sequel when you set up a sequel, so we're like, okay, let's put a scene with him in the coroner's office. That way we can segue into part 2 with this. Yeah, because we're like, okay, we'll put this just in case people want a sequel. Thank God they did. But but yeah, so like that wasn't originally in the plan. It was basically he just kills himself at the end. And so I kind of look at it that way. It's like during the course of the film, he is a human. There's something there, but he didn't even know that was going to happen. He was just ending things on his own terms.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I'm not going to let anybody take me in. I've had my fun. Haha, fuck you all. Bye.
That's the toughest watch of all, because you're really not given any closure with the protagonist, right?
Exactly.
I mean, when something this tragic happens, when the slaughtering of people, and then the killer just offs himself at the end, you're not given the satisfaction of winning, or someone riding off. It's just like the killer also wins at the end.
Exactly. But we fully address this all in part 2 from the very get-go. It's just
I was going to say that could be Terrifier 3 there, where you actually do the backstory where we see bits that he saw in the first movie where he is developing this connection to whatever power has the ability to resurrect him.
Yeah, we don't show his origins in part 2, but we do address this whole thing about how he comes back from the dead. That takes it's a very strong element in part 2. We address
I look forward to it.
Yeah, there is a supernatural aspect to it. Because we're like, okay, we got that was Damien's thinking about. It's like, in so many other slashers, they kill off the villain, but they keep coming back, and they eventually.
Is it Keith David as a voodoo
it.
man? I hope it's Keith David as a voodoo man.
That would be awesome. Dr. Facilier just, I got friends on the other side.
Yeah.
Put that on Disney Plus.
That's right. It'll be somewhere there.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I like the kind of the introduction of the supernatural, you know, element to to it. I think,
Don't unplug myself.
when you saw, John Carpenter, kind of did it with Mike Myers, in, the final sequence in Halloween, shot 6 times and the body's not outside. It's not on the ground outside. And so, it's a setup for a sequel. It's
of course,
but it's still like fun when you see Donald Pleasance's look on his face as it's from confidence that he shot him, killed him, to he's gone.
Yeah.
And you're like
holy shit.
We'll be back for part 3.
Yeah. We're waiting for part 3 now already. It's not even out yet. We want part 3.
And there's going to be a part 3. There is.
Hope.
Oh yeah. We have plans for part 3, but
nice.
but this is kind of, I kind of look at art in this one. It's like he, part 1, he didn't know this about him. Now he does know this. And so there's a little bit of an edge to him now, a little bit more confidence and arrogance to him, because
which makes him all the more dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm really fucking hard to kill now. I'm gonna have
I blew my own brains out. Here I am.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You said
unkillable.
You said Terrifier 2. You got a heroine who's so badass that I could swear you were almost like on the set thinking, is she really gonna kill me?
Yeah.
Does she know that this is fake? Does she know that this is like just play acting? Because she hits me with one of those MMA skills. I'm gone.
Oh my god! I was like, I'm just okay. Grin and bear it. She got a few good licks in me. I will say. I was a few times where I was like, ooh. Payback. Because I look at poor Samantha in the first film, like where I'm with the flail with all the blades and stuff like that. That
was hard to watch.
Because I was actually hitting her they were just rubber, but I mean they're still hitting her, and those hurt. And I felt so bad, but she's like, no, it gives me something to react off of. I mean, they still put something on her back and stuff, so it wasn't full on contact with the skin and stuff like that. But I'm like, geez. But yeah, I will say I got my comeuppance at one point. Like it's in one of the takes, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, ow.
Now I'm done.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god, I feel sorry for everybody now. I am so sorry, everybody.
When Vincent Price made The Witch Hunter, he is ended by being hacked to death with a hatchet, and they put a rubber blade on it, but they left the wooden handle. Pretty bruised up from that.
It's funny because I don't really, most of the time, I sometimes do come back with bruises, and I'm like, where the hell did this come from? It is just like, or like the next day after, like you see in the trailer where I'm rearing back with this club-like instrument, and it's just like doing that over and over again. I pulled a muscle in my back, and I didn't realize it till the next day. I was like trying to bend over, and I was like, oh god. I was so glad we didn't film that day, because I was hobbling around like a little old man all day. It's like,
trust me, I feel your pain.
Yeah, it sucks. You hit 40, everything is a shit.
So where can everyone find you, David?
Yes.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under David Howard Thornton.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. I have a Cameo page too, if you want me to do a little video or something like that on Cameo. So,
nice.
Get Art to call.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Happy birthday, motherfucker.
Yeah. Before we wrap, let me go ahead and give the floor over to my esteemed guest, our host here, Kevin.
I'll button up first.
You're in the collared shirt. By all means, Kevin. That's that shoulder.
Not
He's
too
such
much.
A preppy.
He got dressed up for you, David. I don't think I've ever seen him in a collared shirt.
All right.
David Howard Thornton's coming on today. Look like
That's
the
right.
best.
Gotta look professional.
Well, if
We're
Al
watching
can put pants on, I can put a shirt.
If Al is wearing pants, then we know this. Is
You laugh now.
I mean, I had to wear pants.
Oh.
No, David, you didn't.
Yay!
No,
I'm free falling.
not doing much of anything. Doing a little bit of reviewing and stuff. And my next convention is going to be. Actually, I think this weekend is kind of out, but I think next convention is going to be in Roseville, the California Republic Comic-Con, which is going to have Nancy Ann Ritter from the Scream series.
Nice.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I've got We Belong Dead issue 31 with my piece on American Werewolf in London on the cover.
Nice.
If I had an image, I'd show it to you. That's gonna.
That's a great movie.
Oh, we're showing it right now.
And Jenny Agutter in it in the shower scene.
It's the best. I still think that's like the best prosthetic work I've ever seen. Special effect work.
Oh, American Werewolf London. Yeah,
that is like the pinnacle. You can't
even in
that.
4K remaster. It is unsettling to watch.
Let me tell you, the funniest scene, one of the funniest scenes, especially in a horror film, is when he wakes up after his nightly excursion and he's naked in a London zoo.
Yeah,
and there is a group of children that are.
A naked man stole my balloons.
That's right, and I'm gonna give them all Dr. Pepper.
I think I have like the longest sustained laugh for that segment.
Oh, so good.
Especially for a horror film.
That's such a good film. Such a good film.
It would have been more of a horror film if I'd have been in it, because if I'd have done that, I'd have gone up to the lady and given her a helicopter and then taken the balloons. So there.
The end.
Well, speaking of Al, what are you working on?
Oh gosh, I have gotten so terribly busy. I have decided I want to push more on my actual acting career.
Hey,
so I am actually going to be in 3 movies and a short, I think.
Good Lord.
One of them I get to play a grumpy old man, which should be a real
wake up
easy thing.
That's a stereotype for you, Al.
Right there.
Just roll out of bed.
You now, Al. We're typecasting.
Yeah. I'm supposed to. We're doing a commando style where I'm just going to go in and ad lib, getting angry at someone, and I can just see on the first take, turning back to the rest of the crew, and they're all like looking down their feet. One girl's crying. He's like, "Ooh, should I tone that down a little bit?"
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can imagine you doing, "Hey, you young, you dag nabbit whippersnappers."
Oh, I've got a line. I'll tell you later. I have a line I'm sure is going to raise some eyebrows. I'm picking a few.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm in a slasher movie where, I can't tell you what's going on too much, but
you always do that. You always tell us.
I'm sorry,
good stuff.
but I am playing
this is like classified eyes only shit, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I play someone auditioning for a movie. I'm a horror host from the Midwest, and I'm very self-important. And I'm like, I'm on. I am number 1 after the Farm Report at 3:00 in the morning on channel 632 in Nebraska, man. I am important. So again, right up my alley. I'll be so perfect for that one.
Yes.
Joe, what you working on?
What am I working on? I'm working on some upcoming reviews. I am thinking of reviewing She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, just to destroy myself. Yeah, that's right. It's Tatiana Massey, who I've met once, and I cannot. She is. Loved her in Ginger Snaps. No, let's not go there. Also, gearing up, getting ready for Son of Monster Palooza. So everyone who's going to be out in Burbank, California, come say hello to all of us. We'll be there.
Yes.
So tell them to bring me out there one day. I want to come so badly.
We want you to come.
Trust us. You should just
there you go. We're inviting you now.
I'm surprised that you haven't been. I'm surprised.
I know. We've been trying to. It's just like, I don't know.
It seems weird. I've been trying to get a booth there forever.
Yeah.
Well, you just need to have Damien, give them a call, have his people talk to their people. That that kind of thing. And look, Art the Clown needs to be at Son of Monsterpalooza.
Or Monsterpalooza, either
with
one.
Al.
Yeah.
Either.
We'll be at your
I'm
booth.
just happy to be there.
Yeah. Hey,
And threaten them subtly, like, I'm sure this was just an oversight, right?
Right.
We don't need to send Art the Clown down to correct this issue.
Yeah. Just run into my knife 5
That's
times.
it. That's it.
That's right.
Well, that's our time, guys.
All right.
Before we get killed by Art.
Yes.
David Howard Thornton, absolute pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Thank you.
I had
Yeah.
a great time chatting with you
We could have
guys.
stayed over the next hour, but I'm like, Jesus, he's East Coast. It's probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only one.
Yeah. We're night owls. We can do this.
Well, that's our show, everyone. Al, you want to take us out?
Watch horror films. Keep America strong, kids.
That's right.
Bravo.
Enjoy horror, guys.
Yes.
Okay.